Good evening, Major Pack 2 speaking, and I have another Artifact Cup game from Artifact Cup 18, and this is between AGameAnx and Sparrow, two excellent players. Game 1, it looks like, is on Torn Crater, so that's probably this one. Sparrow, for those of you who have not seen him more recently, played a whole lot in the ladder early on, and in some of the Artifact Cups earlier on. Back when they were single-digit Artifact Cups. An excellent player. I believe mostly a Galcian player. I have not seen him play very much Coalition at all. We can see A-Game here was, if you spotted that before the screen ended, is playing random. And so here's Sparrow as Galcian. He's going to start on CUs here, and he is going to retire his base runner. So I'm expecting to see a double production cruiser rush from him, just guessing, based on what I've seen him play before, but we will see.
Point advance underway.
A-Game is going to get Knef with his random die roll here. Also going to start on CUs and be producing some salvagers pretty early on to get even more CUs going on there. Not going to retire his base runner. He's going to start rolling it out. And I'm guessing this means we're going to see some blast run aggression, but we'll see. I'll let them play out their game. Production cruiser rolling out here.
Set charges right there.
And the production cruiser, the second production cruiser, is going to come out from Sparrow, so when you can see those early salvager picks, you can kind of tell what people might be doing. More CUs and some RUs coming out here for A-Game. And his production cruiser is going to start moving forward. And he has not started building another, he's instead building sand skimmers from this production cruiser, so I think this is going to be a spicy game, I think. 2 early aggression builds on Torn Crater. And here's the first blast run coming out. And it's going to join a sand skimmer. I really like this because this is how I play Knef. I'm really curious to see what A-Game does with this because I don't think I've seen A-Game play this kind of a Knef build.
Target position updated.
But we're going to see the production cruiser come out pretty soon here for Sparrow.
Production cruiser moving out.
And Sparrow will have Sandskimmer Fab coming out very soon, but he doesn't have them building yet. So as he's finishing Sandskimmer Fab, just right now, he's getting the first of A-Game's Sandskimmers in his face. He doesn't see the blast drones quite yet, but these could do a great deal of damage. There is a Sandskimmer here, Escort, as Escort for those blast drones. It's not going to soak up the fire, but these blast drones are going to come right into these salvagers, and they're going to take out 3. Another 3 are going to be more than half down, and there are Sandskimmers here to clean up the mess. It looks like A-Game's Sandskimmers are targeting down these salvagers. This is exactly, I wonder if he learned this from me or if he just figured this out on his own, because this is exactly the kind of Knef carrier blast run rush that I love. The 2 production cruisers are here from Sparrow, and they are double pumping sand skimmers. So soon, the sand skimmer count from Sparrow will be enough to deal with these sand skimmers, and certainly enough to deal with whatever blast drones are going to come out from that base runner. But the damage has been done. That was 4 salvagers, I believe, that went down for Sparrow. We can look at the units lost. It looks like there's the 4 salvagers and maybe, I don't know if this is counting the blast drones, but probably 3 sand skimmers that went down. Quick sand skimmer count, we've got 6 from Sparrow and 5 from A-Game, so the double production cruiser hasn't really totally paid off yet. We've got so few salvagers here from Sparrow, and he's really going to have to use all the CUs that he gets to be making up that difference. This blast drone here could have maybe come in and done a lot of damage there, but I guess A-Game wants to save that for something a little more special. Sand skimmers here are going to have a bit of a fight. Neither force has upgraded tech yet, and looks like A-Game is just going to kind of have the advantage there. Sparrow's going to try and kite this blast run. I think he's going to do it pretty well. At best, A-Game, yeah, no, the A-Game is not going to get that blast run off. He is, however, going to continue killing some sand skimmers. And Sparrow might get this one. Assault ships now coming out from AGameAnx. These 2 production cruisers really just sitting here making sand skimmers, not doing anything else. We don't have refinery mode here yet for Sparrow because he's very strapped for resources. These 2 sand skimmers running for their lives, and A-Game meanwhile really has effectively total map control. He can really push Sparrow back with these sand skimmers and blast drones whenever he wants to, because blast drones are so strong against these sand skimmers from Sparrow.
Defense alert. Heretic forces have secured an artifact.
The second production cruiser is out here for A-Game, and it looks like he's rallying here, so I don't know. We can't see if he has refinery mode because we're only seeing the tech from Sparrow here, but I'm guessing he will have refinery mode very quickly and will be going up to 3 bases.
Maneuvering out.
Meanwhile, the sand skimmer count is
Rally position.
still really in A-Game's favor. He's 1 up on the sand skimmers, but also has 3 assault ships and an artifact. And the sand skimmers are in Sparrow's base. So this is looking pretty rough for Sparrow. This is in contrast with one of the previous games that I cast this evening. This is a very successful Knef blast drone rush, where for not very much cost, you can take out a large number of salvagers and really set your enemy back very early on. Sparrow does have refinery mode researching in another 20 seconds, so this is going to remote mine very briefly. But these sand skimmers are going to be interrupted by an assault ship, so that base runner will not go down.
Coordinates verified.
This assault ship here, really just threatening to destroy anything that comes through there. It's just out of sensor range, now moving in, but
strike craft destroyed.
It looks like going just straight for the salvagers.
Resources from salvagers.
And at this point, it really doesn't matter what happens in the middle. It really doesn't matter whether A-Game gets an artifact. Everything that matters is right here. Sparrow's doing exactly what it needs to do, but those salvagers will go down.
Defense alert.
Because that was just one.
Lost.
But here's another assault ship.
Carrier initialized.
Course defense alert.
A nice attack back here from 3 sand skimmers to try and throw A-Game off his game. I like that move. I think it's better than trying to desperately defend back home. I guess I was mistaken when I said that everything going on here is all that matters. This is the game-making play, but I like Sparrow's tenacity to go for A-Game's resourcing here, because it does push him off of a resourcing point, and that makes a huge difference. As Sparrow is getting pushed off of his own resourcing point.
Salvager construction complete.
This is your captain. Sand skimmer under fire.
This resourcing point is really so heavily under siege. I wonder why Sparrow is really even still trying to resource off of it. This base is up and running, so that's good. But this one is now denied by another assault ship. And sand skimmers here are going to be countered by more sand skimmers from AGameAnx. Sparrow looks like was trying to damage down this production cruiser, and that's not going to not going to happen.
Destination locked in.
Strike fighters coming in. A-Game just with his superior tech and resourcing, or with his superior resourcing, is able to get superior tech.
Forces have secured an artifact.
And an assault railgun here from Sparrow. Great choice, but is going to be outmatched immediately by these strike fighters, and that's really too bad.
Assault railgun lost.
These 2 production cruisers still proving useful, and if they were a little more forward, could maybe serve as AA, because 2 production cruisers combined can do quite a bit of AA. But in the meantime, we're really seeing Sparrow on barely more than 1 base compared to A-Game back on 3 bases, and I'm just... I guess I'm seeing some interesting fights ahead. I'm not seeing a path to victory here for Sparrow at this point. But Sparrow has surprised us in the past, so I will remain optimistic.
Railgun advancing.
Hostile forces detected. Be vigilant.
A-Game is really playing a containment game here. He's not massing these assault ships in one place. He's sort of just dancing back here away from the railguns, opportunistically moving in here.
Advance to distant mark.
And I like this kind of a move, distracting with a single unit back in a corner dune. There's a place in Galcian territories where that's also very effective. You can make units go way out of the way and just sort of troll them with a unit that your enemy might forget about. That assault ship ultimately not doing much damage, but creating an opening here for these assault ships, which are in turn going to create an opening for these sand skimmers.
Understood. Resource target verified.
Alert. Carrier taking fire.
And all the while, this resourcing point is denied. This is the only resourcing point. I guess this one maybe Sparrow could expand back to, but there's only a very small zone that Sparrow can really hold on to right now, even with these railguns taking out assault ships. He will pick up 2 here, which is very nice.
Hostile armor destroyed.
Oh, but his... I'm sorry, I missed that
Assault
there.
railgun destroyed.
His railguns in this little narrow pass were so clustered up right at that moment that the strike fighters came in and took out 2 of them in one volley.
Course mapped. All systems ready.
So he's now down to... oh, he had a heavy railgun. I was going to say has. And now is down to just 2 assault rails, which can do a little bit against the sand skimmers, but probably not enough to save this resourcing point. He could retreat these back here under his carrier, but
Awaiting directive.
not a lot to do there. Sparrow's going to try throwing some blast drones
Salvage your loss.
at these sand skimmers. It's not going to really do all that much damage. I think... I don't know if Sparrow knows that or if it's always just sort of a fun little thing he does.
Position. Coordinates verified.
Assault railgun lost. Defense alert. Production cruiser is in contact.
Defense alert. Heretic forces are extracting an artifact.
And I was about to say that those railguns in the middle were the game-ending units, but Sparrow will end the game himself. I think that was appropriate timing. Really interesting seeing the early 2 PC rush against the 1 PC rush with the Knaf. It goes to show you just how powerful those blast drones can be, especially when they're accompanied by strike craft. So game 2 will be on Shallows. I have to sort of scroll through my infinite list of Shallows games here. Okay, here we go. And since A game is random, we'll see what he rolls this time. It may not be Knef again. And I expect on this map that we will see some sort of economic openings, but I'm hoping for a rush. I really love rushes on Shallow, so I'm going to be optimistic for that. And you know what? We might get it, because Sparrow here has retired his base runner. He has started on CUs. He is pumping out salvagers. A-Game has not retired his base runner. A-Game has rolled Coalition this time and has started on RUs. So I'm expecting we're going to see AAVs pretty early from A-Game in addition to a support cruiser. And we are seeing the double production cruiser again from Sparrow. So I got my wish.
Acknowledge. Point salvager online.
Interesting scanner here.
Position designated.
This is sort of in a
Right
defensive position for the scanner, and I guess it covers that opening there. It doesn't really see much going out in front on the
Rally
field
position
here.
marked.
Set travel locks in advance.
Sparrow going to be getting to CUs a little bit earlier here than A-Game. A-Game going for RUs on this extra point, so going for tech pretty early, and we can see Sparrow going for the Sand Skimmer tech,
Command rally position
and his
marked.
production cruiser will be out soon. Can't quite see A-Game's tech. I'm imagining it has to be AAVs, but maybe it's air. Again, I'm not trained up on all these little raised structures on the Coalition carrier and which ones indicate which tech. There are little bits that come out and animate on the carriers when you gain certain technologies, and they're different for every tech. I think it's like these platforms on the Galcian carrier. So we might see that when Assault Ship Fab here comes out. Speaking of which, Sparrow is researching Assault Ship Fab, which means we might see double Assault Ship aggression, double production cruiser Assault Ship aggression rather than the Sand Skimmer aggression. I like it.
Carrier systems ready.
That also sets him up to be using interceptors later.
Salvager construction.
His base runner, not retired,
Redundant
not
artifact
moving,
signal.
not
Secure.
deploying a turret, not deploying a UAV. I don't know what A-Game's doing with that. Not capping artifacts. But A-Game will have the support cruiser here, and is going to be
Rally position
on a
marked.
more efficient economy. That said, Sparrow's mining on
Moving
both
position
bases now,
chart
so
array.
Hostile forces detected. Be vigilant.
we will see.
Defense alert.
Production cruisers here not building anything yet, and they will be
Cruiser
spotted.
on fire.
And Sparrow's sort of like changing his move commands a little bit,
Armor
maybe
craft fabrication online.
panicking. Okay, here's a turret post. So this turret post, if we see these assault ships come out in the wrong spot, will be very effective. And I hope Sparrow sees this, because if he does, he'll be able to take it out. Okay, I mean, he's got to see it now. There's no way you can ignore that. And he's going to move right towards it in order to try and drop off those new assault ships. Right on top of that turret, which is the right move, I think. This production cruiser can soak up damage for long enough, hopefully, to allow these assault ships to take out that turret. And they will. His assault ships will take some damage, but that's okay. They're Galaxian. They can regenerate as long as they don't perish in this fight immediately. A-Game's going to try to bully around his these units with his carrier. And I like that move.
Defense alert. Enemy armor inbound.
Because these assault ships are a bit slower, which means they're going to have to maneuver around a little bit in order to get into A-Game's base. I think if these production cruisers could run right up into this base, they could do a ton of damage, but A-Game is blocking that off with turrets.
Verified. Assault railgun capacity online.
This assault ship is going to get a chance to regen.
Course set.
Point advance underway.
Defense alert.
And if we look at resources real quick, Sparrow has quite a bit of float, and with double production cruisers, that seems dangerous. It seems like he could have been building some sand skimmers right now, which would have really helped in taking out these turrets, getting up in A-Game's base. If he had a few more sand skimmers, he could be looking at taking out A-Game's economy right now. Instead, he will be going for a heavy railgun.
Armor moving out.
And so he's feeling pretty constrained by RUs right now. You would think sand skimmers would be a great way to spend that extra float, but what do I know?
Command verified.
Sparrow is a better player than I am, I think, so I shouldn't second guess his play too much. This railgun's going to take out that turret. It's going to give Sparrow an opening. Doesn't look like he's going to take it quite yet. There is a railgun here, which is going to threaten these assault ships still. So we have this sort of standoff over this hill. Neither player can really shoot over this hill here. And this is a great place to hide behind. If you're sieging a base on shallows, there's that hill right there, and you can sort of poke behind and threaten both of these resource points. If you can hide behind there. You can even hide behind there with a production cruiser and start building units behind there.
Coordinates verified.
2 turrets here from A-Game. I think Sparrow is... the railguns are going to be good at taking them out if you can get some scouting information on there. I think the sand skimmers, here we've finally got some coming out. Still got a lot of float here. Sand skimmers would be very effective at giving Sparrow the kind of scouting information he needs, maybe harassing some of these railguns up there. There is an AAV there, but you know, you get some scouting in, you take it out with the heavy railguns.
Hostile base runner detected.
These railguns from A-Game in a very good position on this hill. They are going to get the high ground advantage. They're going to have great visibility. They're going to be pretty far back, and they're going to be able to take out these assault ships. Assault ships aren't going to quite finish off the salvagers, but he's going to get a little bit of harass in there. I'm not sure how valuable it is to be harassing this base in particular, though. This is really the vulnerable weak spot, the sort of soft belly of a shallows base. So on shallows, I tend to favor very fast units for rushing, which limits you mostly to sand skimmers, blast drones, assault railguns, aircraft.
Moving to destination. Push out.
Command railgun online.
But we'll see. So far, Sparrow is sieging this base and does have a production cruiser coming out back at his home base, and he has researched refinery mode. So Sparrow looking like he's going to be on an at least equivalent economy while having forward production cruisers, and this game is really going to be decided by the difference between Sparrow's siege and A-Game's defense. These railguns are going to get really kind of picked off by these other railguns from A-Game. These railguns doing a lot of work, and there are 6 of them.
Coordinates verified.
We're now down to just 2 railguns back here, dropping down to 1 for Sparrow. Last one's going to go down. This unit is almost certainly dead.
Armored craft under attack.
Move. Contact imminent.
Armored craft has been lost.
I guess he lucked out there. A-Game
Resource units. Heavy railgun on service.
Sparrow no longer going to move this production cruiser up forward. I wonder if that was a misclick or if that was intentional. But in any case, going to move all production cruisers back, get them set up at resource points, and A-Game's going to have the opportunity to do the same. He's not going to be on it quite as quickly as Sparrow, but he does have such a superior army right now. He does have some railguns with some veterancy. He has a lot of them.
Salvager construction complete.
That said, Sparrow still does have the opportunity to have 1 forward production cruiser, which could be to his advantage if he wants to be a little more mobile.
Defense alert. Heretic forces are extracting an artifact.
Long range advance set.
We do see armor
Sounds
upgrades
good.
here, and the railgun mag accelerator
Vehicle rendering complete.
tech
Defense alert.
for
Enemy
AGameAnx for
armor
the coalition
inbound.
railguns, which gives them a bit more
Send
damage
zero
and I
under fire.
believe accuracy.
18 faces. Stay locked on target. Sending counterfire.
Light attack vehicle rendering.
A lot of railgun
complete.
fire coming here
Defense
from
alert.
A-Game.
Heritage forces
And
are
I don't think
extracting
Sparrow really
an
has an
artifact.
answer. He doesn't have enough sand
Railgun
skimmers to try and answer that. Doesn't have enough railguns to try and answer that.
Heavy railgun destroyed.
He doesn't have any kind of blast drones to answer that because he's not playing as Knef.
Sound skimmer advancing.
And so the tables have sort of churned. We're seeing... He does have sand skimmers now coming out here, which is great.
Core set.
They might run into an unfortunate unit here.
Light attack vehicle online.
Hostile
This is
railgun
so many
operating.
railguns.
Armored craft
That
taking fire.
whatever Sparrow
Armor prime.
shows is going to be taken out almost immediately.
Advance out. Railgun reading.
In this situation, I think I would favor A-Game's placement of the railguns up
Heavy
here.
railgun destroyed by enemy
Although that
forces.
does leave the production cruisers here vulnerable. But that is a very good perch,
Secured an artifact.
especially if you're Gaussian and you can get the heavy railgun tech. Which, by the way, let's check
Salvager
that.
is in contact.
It does not look like he had a ranged calibration. Behind all this, by the way, I'm not going to spend too much time on looking at that, but A-Game is taking advantage of his map control that he has regained after that siege, and he's going to be capping some artifacts. He's going to be placing more turrets, so
Heavy
that's neat.
railgun online.
Awaiting deployment.
Structcraft confirms.
Decent number of sand skimmers here.
Send command.
Might meet that turret,
We have
and
insufficient resources.
that might be a really, really well-placed turret, actually. If these sand skimmers are going to try and come around and kill these railguns. These are armored railguns. They do have a couple armor upgrades.
We have insufficient resources.
I believe that's armor level 2 on those.
Defense
might be armor
alert.
level 3.
Heretic forces have secured an artifact.
Enemy base runner authenticated. Move. Hostile turret spotted.
Position set.
Another turret here. So A-Game almost just wants to siege from afar with these railguns back at this base. He's going to lose his base runner. Big whoop.
Core set.
Hostile railgun
These
inbound.
railguns are really dangerously close to this resourcing pocket. A couple production cruisers here, very vulnerable. The railgun's going to sort of just whiff it.
Salvager taking fire.
Destination.
And behind this, Sparrow has been building a force of heavy railguns.
Awaiting.
Light attack vehicle online.
Still does not
Position
have
set.
ranged calibration tech.
Defense
But this is
alert.
enough to start taking out
Salvager
AVs if you
destroyed.
can get the right
Sand
angle on
skimmer
it. He's going to
taking
sort of come
fire.
down here to avoid this hill and get the angle on it.
A strike
He's going to take out that
craft has
scouting
been destroyed.
AAV
Moving monitor scans.
and push A-Game off for
Coordinates
now.
verified. Reposition craft.
But I feel like this is still very
Fleet
exposed
at
down
maximum
here.
capacity.
And this high ground may
Moving to
just serve him a
destination.
little better because you can get pretty close. If you look at the distance here,
Railgun
that's not very far back
engaged.
from the resource point.
Heavy railgun destroyed.
And on this relatively even footing, A-Game's superior numbers
Attacking new targets
and
on
damage
scan.
upgrades are
Core
just
set.
Target position
really
set.
doing a number
Busy
on
here.
Sparrow's railguns.
Advance on a fire course.
Understood. Advancing.
Strike
Sand skimmers are going to run
destroyed.
right into this wall of AAVs. They are going to be able to get some damage done on these railguns. There's a lot of weak railguns here that could maybe be taken out. Meanwhile, A-Game's carrier is going to show up, and this is, because of a couple artifacts and possibly a power level, going to be a blunt weapon like we've seen in a lot of games recently.
Grid mark set.
Command verified. Command verified.
And this is just so many units. I don't know what you can do against this many units now. 10 railguns, 7 AAVs, a missile ship just for good measure, a couple turrets just for good measure, and a carrier.
Siege cruiser complete.
Salvager
With more
is in
railguns back here, this
contact.
carrier could maybe be forced back. There's a siege cruiser here. This is a great unit choice against the railguns. I didn't mention it before. I thought that might be a little too optimistic, but Sparrow managed to pull that together and make that happen and get that technology for a siege cruiser.
Defense alert. Enemy armor.
Which, in the absence of a carrier, I think would be
Signature locked in.
a
Secure.
way to turn around the game. The carrier being here from A-Game, though, is just, it's really going to deny all this resourcing and do so much damage. Barrage here from the siege cruiser. Going to hit these AVs, do a lot of damage, going to hit some of these railguns. Meanwhile, more railguns going down here from AGameAnx.
Secure.
Nice railgun positioning here from Sparrow. Unfortunately, the carrier is just so well
Heavy
positioned
railgun
here.
destroyed by enemy forces.
There's so many railguns here from A-Game.
Coordinates verified.
And now this is really looking
Defense
like
alert.
it's a big game over. There's a
Salvager
siege
destroyed.
cruiser here, which is going to
Defense
be able to do a
alert.
lot.
Production cruiser destroyed.
in a few seconds if it can get that barrage off. But then after that, it's just going to go down.
Strike craft destroyed.
Good number of railguns going down here to the siege cruiser. This one not quite going down.
Defense alert. Siege cruiser destroyed.
Siege cruiser will go down, so I'm imagining this is where we see Sparrow GG out, and indeed we do. So a nice set of games from those. That will be 2-0 for A-Game, so he's going to move on to the semifinals, and Sparrow will be eliminated at this point. But I definitely enjoyed watching Sparrow play there. I loved seeing the double production cruiser rush on shallows. More people need to rush on shallows, except when they play me, because I want to rush them on shallows. But really, shallows is a great map to rush on. It has a pretty short movement distance, and just because there's resources nearby doesn't mean you have to use them. And if your enemy is going to rely on those resources being there, what better way to shut them down than with an early rush? The assault ship choice was definitely interesting. I think A-Game did a very good job countering that with his carrier positioning. I don't think A-Game really had a unit counter per se to the assault ships. It was more of a micro counter, if that makes any sense. In any case, thank you for watching. I will probably be casting more games another night. I've cast a good handful tonight, and it's getting a little late here, so I will upload this one and then probably take a break. But stay tuned, and I will hope to get the rest of the round 3, the best of 8, not best of 8, but the round of 8 games casted, and then it'll be on to the semifinals for Artifact Cup 18. Hopefully I can get all of this done before Artifact Cup 19 comes around, because if I don't, then I'm just going to honestly go and cast Artifact Cup 19. I think that'll be more fun to have more up-to-date games. So a reminder, these are my first games that I've cast in any game ever. So please leave your harshest of criticisms in the comments for how I could improve my casting, for how I could improve my production quality. If you noticed any issues, I know Xavier mentioned that I had some video quality issues before, and hopefully I've addressed those and delivered some smoother video as well. So please comment about that, comment about the commentary, comment about the games, comment about anything, and I will see you again soon. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.